All right, so this is a suggestion via a donation. The name of the video is Nature is So Disrespectful. Yeah, it is. Absolutely. Casual Geographics has absolutely destroyed nature for me. He's destroyed animals. Yeah, he's basically destroyed everything that I thought I would have held dear eventually, right? But this one here, let's see what this is about, guys. Let's get it.
Are some of the most disrespectful things nature ever put in the ocean. Here we have a Kardashian, aka a black swallower. This paralysis demon with gills can gobble, swallow, basically Cardi B things that are actually bigger than they are. This paralysis demon with gills can gobble, swallow, basically Cardi B things that are actually bigger than they are. This deep sea deep throat will shove anything down its gullet and die trying, like a horse. This Caucasian cockroach is an ice They're related to crabs, and just like them, they have claws that at the worst can give you an unforgiving pinch. But they're only really a threat to your mental health because they can grow to 2.5
sometimes I wonder, while watching these, because we have like guys, maybe like 14 more of these videos suggested, guys. And sometimes I wonder, am I watching this for the sake of learning about brand new animals, or just being like savagely introduced to animals in a way that's hilarious in nature? Like, his delivery is phenomenal. I enjoy him thoroughly. I honestly hope that he continues this for a very long time. I don't know if he's going to ever run out of animals to just slander.
But nothing I say can prepare you for the horrors Reddit has to offer. The bobbit worm is S tier disrespectful. It was actually named after a woman who cut her husband's love hose off.
Lorena Bob. God, guys.
The bobbit worm is S tier disrespectful. It was actually named after a woman who cut her husband's love hose off. They have scissors for jaws and they can grow to 10 inches. Oh shit. 10 feet long. It spends its life in the sand, clapping any fish that get too close. It'll grab them, inject them with venom, and drag them back to the depths of hell it spawned from. If this satanic water worm isn't vaulted in the next patch, then I know nature is not on our side. The sarcastic French heads is a sick joke with no punchline. These Joker guppies will onside any animal that gets caught in their hood. French heads will fade each other by pressing their mouths together in the most sus square up you'll ever see. This fish doesn't even look like it's supposed to exist. It looks like a draft that got leaked. Top 5 animals with black Air Force energy. At number 5, and this might surprise you, but the house cat. House cats are one of the few.
I'm not surprised. Absolutely. No way. In no way am I surprised that house cats made this list. I'm sorry. House cats are some of the most despicable animals on this entire planet, mainly because I'm allergic to them and I can't be in their presence. I think they're soft. I guess they could potentially be cuddly. They make your house smell terribly. Or maybe it's just me that I smell cat owners. Cat owners, I smell you in public. Right? Could you make me sneeze?
Animals that kill for fun, and they'll go on murking sprees just because, even though they literally have humans to provide for them. They've already made it out the trenches, but they still choose genocide, to the point where they can clap entire species. Number 4 are the demons on wings called geese. They're not the biggest or the most dangerous, but no other bird chooses to be a menace to society more often. At least magpies can be reasoned with. But geese enter the world hating you and your loved ones on a very spiritual level. Number 3 are chimpanzees. These homicidal tendencies.
I've never heard anything about a goose before.
With thumbs commit acts of gang violence on each other, and the outcome is ugly. Because when they jump a rival, they'll tear out the throat and the family jewels. Walking steroids will vibe check anything, and they don't need a reason to. Orcas don't need a reason either. These Jeffrey Dahmers of the sea are smart enough to bully the entire animal kingdom and big enough to never get checked for it. They G-slap seals to the clouds, violate great white sharks, and are overall menaces to anything in the ocean. Honey badgers are easily number 1 because they will die before they care. No animal has more rational confidence than a honey badger. It's a roid skunk that steps to lions and hyenas. Honey badger don't give a more animals with black Air Force energy. Number 5, rhinos. Because they're legally blind, they overcompensate by choosing assault every time. They literally keep that same energy with lions, trucks, and butterflies because they're born with a disability, and they make it the entire world's problem. At 4,
guys, do rhinos like serious? Oh God, guys. Like, I was planning on going on like one of these safaris, at least one time in my life. And if a rhino, if it's common for rhinos to just walk up to your vehicle and flip it, I don't think I want to be involved in that because I don't know what type of firearm would be needed to basically delete this thing. So what could be, is it safe? Are any of these like drive-through safari adventures safe, guys?
4, we got Tasmanian devils, named after their temper tantrums, which sound like a satanic prostate exam. These marsupials select violence no matter what the situation, and even the sacred process of mating involves biting, scratching, and a lot of regret. Also, only 4 out of the 30 born will survive. The rest get spawn wiped by the mother. Tigers are one of the pettiest animals alive. They hold grudges, and they will wait years to get their revenge. They've been known to track down hunters that did them dirty and personally take them off the census. Bees are somehow worse because unlike the tiger, which handles fate's dolo, beefing with one bee means you beef with the entire hive. Africanized honeybees will chase ops for up to half a mile. And if you think hiding...
That honey, though, minus the botulism, but that honey, though, is amazing if you've never had any of it.
Water will spare you the vibe check. They'll clap you the moment you come up for air. Cape Buffalo are number one because they literally have the personality of a melanated Air Force. They will violate you for no reason, but God help you if you give them a reason. They'll purposely lead you into tall grass just to ray rice you into the dirt when you're not looking. Malicious intent. There's such a thing as knowing too much, because every once in a while I find out something that makes me want to eye wash with holy water. Here's 3 facts that made me want to purge my internet history. I'll never forget the day I found out that dolphins will actively try to take the innocence of people like Demi Moore. And of course, this also led me to the fact that dolphins have 12-inch retractable spunk cannons. And they're prehensile, meaning they have a fleshy pink hand that they can use to reach and grab things they're not supposed to. Things like living eels. Fact number 2, something about a tank with antlers being able to dive 20 feet just seems...
This is why I generally will always suggest for women to probably stay away from these dolphins, guys. These dolphins will violate, guys. I don't think you could do anything about that. I'm sure many dolphins probably need to get Me Too'd, bro, just to be honest. But I don't know what you can really do about that. They don't have like an embassy or a consulate or anything you can speak to, guys. They're just going to do it willy-nilly, guys, at will.
Seems illegal.
Disrespect.
Knowing that a whole moose can pull up on you underwater is bad enough. And only one thing can possibly make it worse. It's the fact that they can end up getting clapped by orcas. Moose and overgrown homicide dolphin is a crossover that nobody ever asked for. But by far the most disturbing animal fact I've ever learned, and this one's bad. It's everything about this. For every penguin you see, a seal just sees a feathery fleshlight because that's how they treat them. And watching a seal bump and grind while the penguin soullessly lays there and takes it while his homies no doubt slut shame and make me seriously question the way I see the world. Bump and grind. Where did I hear that from? Of course he did. Animals that are much, much meaner than you think. This Oreo horse is a menace. Male zebras will sight wipe any babies and then beat and bully any pregnant females to force them to miscarry. This equality donkey will proceed to catch another charge by forcing itself on her. Might be wondering why we never tried to ride zebras. Simple. They'd kick your lights out if you even tried to approach them with a saddle because this tiger pony has rage issues. Penguins are sins with wings. Their moral rap sheet includes adultery, prostitution, child abuse, and cell block D'ing each other. But the worst crimes are the ones they commit on children. Penguin mothers that lose their chick will fill that vast empty void inside them by stealing someone else's baby. But I guess the void isn't that empty because after a couple days they'll abandon the newly adopted chick to either starve or become a feathery popsicle. Also, these tuxedo chickens will stick their phallus in anything, and unfortunately, penguin chicks are anything. Squirrels are vicious baby-faced psychopaths. Male red squirrels will erase any babies he sees, sometimes squad-wiping an entire generation. The murder rodent will cannibalize the children and shoot a shot at the tragedy-stricken mother in an attempt to recreate the family that he just took off the census. They are not to be trusted. Here are some animals that really said, F them kids. Fun fact, he spent millions of dollars keeping this overstuffed Oreo alive just for them to be F-tier parents. If she has twins, she'll flip a coin and raise only one. The other one has no choice but to go itself. Pandas aren't endangered, but sometimes it feels like they want to be. You know exactly where this is going. When chased by a predator, the mother quokka will relax the muscles in its pouch to allow the baby, called a joey, to fall out. Since this distracts the predator, the mother will get away while her baby suffers a third-party abortion. Mother of the year, but guess what? Kangaroos and wallabies will do the exact same thing. You watch this show, it literally happened to him in the theme song. If a mother hedgehog senses a disturbance, she'll eat her children. The idea is that the nutrients are better off going back into her body than to a predator. Logically makes sense. Morally, it makes her Casey Anthony with spikes. Baby birds typically get hugged by their parents. The baby shoebill stork will bully its little brother until he's nothing but a memory and a pile of feathers. Not only will the mother deliberately watch this happen, she'll only feed the stronger, meaner chick. Maybe if she got a welfare check, she'd be a better parent. But there's no checks in the wallet, so it's curtains.
Bro, relax. You're supposed to be teaching us about weird animals, bro. All right? Not dropping bars, guys.
Kid are some of the weirdest animals people have been ended by. A beaver caught a body when a 60-year-old fisherman tried to take a picture of the ungrateful rodent. Fun fact, actually really sad fact, the same teeth they use to bring down teeth can put you on life support. The beaver severed an artery in his leg and he couldn't stop the bleeding, so that was his obituary. Death by beaver. A Spanish popcorn star got clapped by a toad by inhaling its psychedelic poison. He used a pipe to inhale the powerful bufotoxin that is so potent it's literally called a god molecule. But then he got so elevated his soul divorced his body and never came back. Remember, kids, don't do drugs. Unless you're on Wall Street, but in that case, use baking soda like an adult, don't do toad. Alexander I was the king of Greece who ruled from 1917 to 1920. And out of all the things that could have canceled his life, war, disease, a jealous ex, the one thing that put his face on the picture frame was a monkey. He was walking his dog when a Barbary macaque assaulted his German shepherd. Like any respectable dog owner, he stepped in and pulled the monkey off of his dog. But when he did, he basically got snuck by a second monkey. He got bit and later developed a severe infection. Doctors didn't want to be blamed for his death, so they didn't even try with him, so the king of Greece expired to monkey bite. Seeing animals' rice purity scores.
Bro, okay.
Dogs aren't easy 100. You can argue they're the most selfless animal in the world, and they'd easily give their lives for people that probably don't deserve it. Horses are a 95. They could easily rock us if they wanted to, but they're such gentle giants that we all just let it slide. Now, the reason they're not higher, Google what animal causes the most deaths in Australia, and you'll see why. Sharks are a 75 because although they can be dangerous, one, they're just trying to eat like the rest of us, and two, they kill less than 5 people a year. There are much worse things in the ocean, and one of them's on this list. Hippos are a 45 because they seem to have beef with everything. They'll maul you for no reason, and they'll actively abort any baby hippos they see. You gotta have a severe moral deficiency to use lethal force on something that wasn't even alive 3 days ago. Also, they will resort to cannibalism. This might surprise you, but zebras are just above them. Zebras are incredibly vicious, and they also spawn kill. They'll also assault and bully any pregnant females to force them to miscarry just so they can mate with them. They're black and white, but their sense of morality isn't. Ducks are a 30 because when you're constantly evolving to perfect the art of cosbying each other, you're not gonna get a lot of points from me. I can make a whole video on how morally bankrupt dolphins are, but the worst part is they're smart enough to know exactly what they're doing, so these humans of the sea get a 5.
Dolphins are weird, bro.
Animals' rice purity scores. Elephants are an easy 100 on the pure scale, and if one does something to you, I promise you, you deserved it. Honey badgers are an 80 because they believe in equality. No matter who you are, where you came from, the honey badger will hate you and your loved ones on a very personal level, and will act accordingly.
Bro, the honey badger slander is wild. All right, I know that he made like an entire video specifically about this animal. I don't think we've seen it yet, but I know we will, and I'm sure it'll be exciting.
Alpha weasel's actually an equalizer, a chaotic neutral, a harbinger of destruction, but a symbol of equal rights and equal fates. Meerkats are at 15 because no other mammal wakes up and chooses murder more often. But for real, Google it. They lead mammals in homicide. The alpha female will abort the children of her rivals and force those same mothers to raise her children. Like Casey Anthony got reincarnated as a Serengeti bush rat. Penguins are at 12 because they check every depraved box. Grape without a G, prostitution, child abuse, but the worst is that they'll commit atrocities on dead females. A scientist once placed...
Yeah, this video is about to get super restricted, guys.
...a disembodied frozen head of a penguin to see if males would respond. And they responded with their penis.
Normally, he's really good at, like, not saying very specific words. But this one, yeah.
That same scientist went on to make a therapist very rich. Otters are a 5. They do the same things penguins do, but since they also Cosby baby seals, you can add pedo business and bestiality to the purity rap sheet. They also can't tell the difference between a consenting female and a lifeless corpse. Here's what the toughest animals are afraid of. I know what you're thinking, but it's not mice. Elephants are terrified of bees and will get visibly agitated when they hear the buzz of a beehive. That's because a swarm of African bees with hood mentality can drop an elephant, and that's also why farmers use fake hives to scare elephants away from their fields. Sharks fear dolphins, and for good reason. Pods of dolphins will attack and ram sharks hard enough to cause internal injuries. And dolphins will go out of their way to bully sharks for no reason, even playing volleyball with baby sharks just because. I didn't even mention the way they get eviscerated by orcas. Believe it or not, hyenas actually fear lions. That's because lions have been known to paralyze hyenas and leave them to suffer, not even granting them the sweet release of death. They'll stand up to them if they have a numbers advantage, but Simba's body odor is enough to get a hyena laughing in fear, which they actually do. Wolves have been known to stand up to bears and cougars, but they're actually afraid of the most dangerous animal in us. Wild wolves would rather do the dash than be near a homicidal hairless primate armed with thumbs and guns. So for us, the most dangerous wolves are the ones on Wall Street. Animals are afraid of, part 2. A lot of horses have a fear of water, especially if they can't see how deep it is or if the bottom is muddy or rocky. Horses are wired to avoid uncertain ground, especially since breaking a leg is an unpardoned death sentence. Yeah, goats also hate water. It's possible they evolved to hate getting their hooves wet since slipping and falling would make them vulnerable to predators. Not only do gorillas also distrust water, they've been recorded showing fear towards insects and reptiles. Gorillas have been seen going out of their way to avoid caterpillars and chameleons. Llamas hate and fear dogs because they remind them of predators like coyotes and the fox. Which is good because guard llamas can protect your farm from coyotes and feral dogs. It's bad when a llama racially profiles your dog and bicycle kicks it to another area code. Emus are also dog racists because they constantly get pressed by dingoes. Cats really don't like snakes. Even though cats like leopards can kill a python, they'll typically avoid them because the risk of getting bit is just too high. If a cat takes down a snake, it's probably because a snake pressed him first. Cats are genetically hardwired to not trust snakes, so the fastest way to humble your cat is to pull out a cucumber. Not like that.
Oh, man. Guys, this one right here, the first one was obviously the most interesting one. Like, I don't know why, like, a being would eat themselves to, like, deletion. Well, I mean, I guess the humans do it, so that's also a thing, right? But his usage of the English language in that very specific segment was phenomenal. He should be awarded for that, guys. Listen, let me know in the comments for the next one of these from him that I should be checking out, and I will get to that as soon as I possibly can, all right? Listen, you guys all have an absolutely amazing day, and enjoy your day thoroughly.